Hey everybody, just wanted to do a video talking about a recent horse accident that happened locally here. Made Facebook and the news and all kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of comments about the rider, the girl that was riding this horse, and what they think of what happened. But I actually took it as a really interesting opportunity to check out what happened. Why did it happen, and what are the results of it? And it's doing pretty good in here. Lots of hay. Anyways, so the horse, and I'll put a link in the description below, or the article that I post here for this. But the rider had taken her horse out on a trail ride in a really nice place called Campbell Valley Park, and gone across this bridge that was pretty narrow. Now, I just recently did a video talking about crossing bridges that, or areas that are a little bit tight for the horse. And if they don't have a lot of practice of this kind of thing, or they don't have good grip for one reason or another, whether it's the surface of the ground, mud, or slippery wood, or depending on what they've got on their feet, they might not have any grip, they might have just poor balance, who knows. But if they're not used to it and they don't manage that well, then they'll slip. Their feet will come out from underneath them, and they can only recover so well before they fall down or something. This horse, the horse in the video, if it's still up, I'll describe it anyways, came off a small bridge, probably didn't look like it was more than maybe a couple of feet wide, so quite narrow. And I wouldn't say that a horse couldn't do that. In good conditions with just a little practice or something, I think a horse could probably cross such a bridge. It wasn't a horse bridge, it wasn't meant for horses, so I wouldn't advocate something like that. But the fact of the matter is that even if the horse could do it, would it be a good decision? Well, in this case it wasn't. The horse fell off the bridge. The rider jumped off in time to get off safely, but the horse didn't. The horse fell and kind of fell under the bridge. And in the video that I did just recently by total chance, I talk about going across a big log. There's a couple of big logs, or I can go around another way. Now, how this girl got to this other side of the bridge and why she decided to cross that bridge instead of go back or around or some other thing, I'm not really sure. It didn't look like it was a bridge that was jumpable unless you're pretty good with jumping, so that wasn't an option. According to the comments, which should be taken with a complete grain of salt, she's not really good to have a horse, but that's hard to say. Who knows, right? You don't know. So taking all that out of the equation, we take a look at what happened. We look at the bridge. It was 2 feet wide. It was slippery conditions. It's been raining. I got my rain jacket on again. You know, and it's wet. It's dangerous. So I'm just going to take a quick walk in the forest here. Zeus is enjoying some time. Hey, buddy. Loves it back here. And so if the horse does get in an accident like that, and it does fall under the bridge like that, what happens next? The story then goes to say that a group of firefighters came out. Oh, great job, guys. Good, excellent getting the horse out. Looked like they got it out quite safely, just, you know, some good straps. Everybody was pulling. There were no machines involved. It was just human power. And they got that horse out of there, out of the ditch, from underneath. It got itself underneath this little tiny bridge. Hi, buddy. What's happening? Luke, you're always such an attention hog. And then he stood up and walked off. Everything was good. There was a bunch of people there. Everybody was very encouraging. And a couple of people put their jackets on him. And in the article it said he was shivering. And I thought, really? it's getting a little colder now. He fell into a ditch with a bunch of water that was supposedly quite cold. Everybody jumped into this cold water to help him. And it was an interesting point that I thought, you don't see horses shivering very often. It's kind of unusual. And hi, Mr. Nibbles. I know, who's a good boy? You are. And so if you check out the video, if the video is still up and you check it out, links in the description or article, at about the 2-minute and 40-second mark, there is a few good frames, kind of idea, a good little scene where the firefighters are out of the way, and you can see that the horse is actually shivering. Never seen a horse shivering. You'll see that, but also link another video that I did a while back of Luke, who was shivering in some really cold conditions that kind of came about one day. And it shows the large muscle groups shaking. So even though it was a poor opportunity or a poor situation for the horse and rider, maybe some poor decisions being made there, we can still look at the rest of it and say, okay, well, what kind of bridge was it? What were the conditions? Everybody can learn from this kind of thing. Everybody can learn that poor judgment can be made. What led up to that? What conditions? How it was the. Yeah, some horses just like to play with stuff a lot, which is fine. I got to clean this place up, but you know, what were the conditions? What was the horse was an older horse. I don't know if that means anything. I find older horses are pretty sure-footed and they've experienced a lot. Does this horse have a lot of experience trail riding? So all of these things are factors into whether or not an accident would have happened. An accident did happen, so that's too bad. The horse was okay, supposedly. There was a vet on hand checking things out. They put some jackets on to help it stay a little bit warmer. Best thing to do, get some food in them. You know, so you think about, okay, well, you know, a trail ride happened, a situation came about. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do when you're bored? A trail ride came about, and then a situation came up where a decision had to be made one way or another. Do you cross the bridge? Do you jump over it? Do you go around? Do you go back? These are all decisions that have to be made on the trail. You don't experience them in the arena. You don't experience them when you're out in a safe environment that it's pretty hard to get the horse hurt in. So something to think about. And then when it does happen, well, then what do you do? Somebody happened across it, called 911. I guess the girl that was riding didn't have a phone or didn't call. I'm not sure. Maybe she didn't know what to do. So there's another part of this whole thing that can be thought about. What do you do when you have an accident and your horse is stuck or hurt or injured, or you're hurt or injured? You know, do you call 911? Will somebody come and rescue? Yes, they will. Locally here, there are all kinds of events or classes going on for the first responders around here, for firefighters, to help rescue large animals. And it's a really big deal. It's a really important thing. And they do it really well. So then you call 911 and then somebody comes out and helps. And then is the aftercare. Was your horse injured? Is it just cold? Is it now hungry and thirsty? Does it need to just rest? So those are all things to think about as well. So I think it's a great learning experience, especially for the person who is riding. But anybody who watches and checks out and sees what's happening, rather than judge what happened, what can we learn from it? What can we take from it? What can we see? Luckily, somebody was there with video, and we can observe the horse. We can see what's going on. We can see if it's hurt, if it's shivering, scared. How is it reacting to the people around? How are the people reacting to it? And learn from that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Again, links are below if you want to check out the video. I won't place it inside this video, but you can go check that out and see a completely raw cut, I guess it was. It's just straight from the phone or camera that somebody had used. And judge for yourself, I suppose, or just straight, or do both. You know, you can learn from it and judge it. I mean, obviously the wrong decision was made. Sometimes hindsight is 20/20 though. And, you know, Got to learn the hard way here and there, but at the horse's expense, people have a problem with. I can understand that. Anyhow, back to other horsey stuff soon here. I got to do a bunch of cleanup, get some food going for anybody that's running low. And yeah, a lot of things to do today. So thanks for watching. I know this kind of went a little bit long, but hopefully something's come out of this good. And yeah, talk to you guys again soon.